I'm Ewen Murray, and it's my pleasure to take you on a brief trip over the hallowed turf of one of Scotland's oldest courses. Fraserborough's history is rich, long and deep, but of course it's your next round you're concerned about, so let's get going and see what's in front of you. We begin the journey around this famous old course with a par 4 of 434 yards. It's a hole that eases you into the test ahead, a generous enough fairway, but left will be problematical where winds, a ditch and rougher wades. Ideally, the second shot is easier should your drive be centre left, but anywhere on the fairway is fine. A straightforward round green of 26 yards in length is the target, and a par here will set you on your way. Braid's Pillow at 391 yards rises gently uphill with a fairway rather like a crumpled handkerchief. It has humps, mounds and dells. In your favour, this is the only hole on the course with no bunkers. Rather like the first, it's best to set your sights on the left-hand side of the fairway off the tee, as that will give you the best view for the approach. An elevated green requires an accurate second. Distance control is mandatory. It's not long, but it's one that demands respect. Short par 4s are a great feature of golf courses throughout the globe, and White Shelter at 331 yards doesn't disappoint. The view from the third tee is breathtaking, similar to the hike up Corbiehill from the second green, by the way. When you get there, take your time and enjoy the panoramic view. It's a vision that will stay with you when you've finished your round. If you're feeling brave, you can take this on with a driver. Many prefer a positional tee shot with an iron, but that brings the fairway bunkers into play. The green is guarded left and right with bunkers that nip perfectly into the upslope. The quality of this hole matches the vistas from the tee. Another short par 4, the fourth, is a masterpiece of design. When James Braid updated the course in 1922, I'm certainly he would have been extremely proud of his achievements. Again, you can take the driver off the tee, but an iron to reach the flat before the fairway falls away is the most sensible option. I love looking at this green, which nestles beautifully into the hillside. Avoid the left of the putting surface, as positioned there is the deepest bunker on the golf course. It's a traditional green, but it's not that wide. It's only 18 yards from left to right. The first of 4 par 3s at Fraserborough, aptly known as the Hump, a mound which obscures the view of the putting surface, so good imagination is a big help here. You need one of your best, as anything pushed leaves the golfer on the road to nowhere, unless of course you have an urgent appointment in Inveralaki. The B9033 runs along the entirety of the right side of the hole. Don't be embarrassed to aim for the left half of the green. Try and focus on that. There's no shame in heading to the 6th, having recorded a par 3 at the 5th. If the B9033 doesn't get any business at the 5th, it's still open for some at the first of the par 5s. The 6th, accepting the power players, is a genuine 3-shotter. Should you find the short grass, the layup is far from easy, as the fairway pinches in by the left-hand pot bunker, which is situated about 65 yards short of the putting surface. The approach requires a lot of thought. 2 bunkers jealously guard the right edge, but there are worse places to go, notably left or long. Yet it's a big green and once again features dramatic changes in elevation. The second par 3 in the space of 3 holes is delightful. At only 165 yards, it doesn't play its full distance as it's predominantly downhill. Wherever the pin is positioned, the front bunker is a good line. My advice would be to take a club that doesn't send you past the middle of the green, as the aprons slope away into a dell, right, left and beyond. The interestingly shaped green is 28 yards in depth, so quite a reasonable target for a hole of this distance. The first par 4 sends the fourth, the eighth is straight and away and measures 372 yards. It's 230 to reach the left-hand bunker, 239 yards to clear it. If you get past that, you have a good chance of a fairly level stance for the short iron approach, which is uphill. Anything weak and pushed, however, will be swallowed up by a large kidney-shaped bunker. Position off the tee is important. If you manage that, there's a good birdie chance here. The front nine closes with a cracking par 4 of 458 yards, the longest par 4 on the course. The fairway is creatively shaped around bumps and hummocks and features a solitary bunker down the left, positioned 230 yards from the very back tee. A grassy hollow frames the right side at 212. It's a hole that invites you to open up your shoulders. The easier pin would be situated in the front portion of the green. The back left changes height, therefore making club selection a prime requisite for the approach. You will have noticed through the front nine that this grand old course offers variation of plenty, and that continues at the start of the inward nine. With the ninth being the longest par 4, 10 is much shorter at just 332 yards. The ideal tee shot would be placed down the left-hand section of the fairway, for most players with an iron. Anything to the right will leave an approach going across the green. From the left, you'll be playing straight down a long, narrow strip of putting surface, so focus on that, and there is some hidden sand, by the way, short and left. With care needed off the tee at 10, the 357-yard 11th allows a more cavalier approach. The fairway is ample in size. The difficulty here is the second shot, as you see so little of the putting surface. Because it rises from fairway to green, the second always plays a little longer than it looks. 2 small bunkers are positioned to the left of the green, but shouldn't worry those who have hit the fairway. A more than decent chance of picking up a shot. The 12th, the Castle, gets its name from Cairnbog Castle, which was formerly the home of Lord Salton, who was very much part of Fraserburgh's early history. The fairway looks smaller than it really is, so trust that. Right has little appeal, and many a ball that's been dispatched there was never found. The left bunker sits back and short of the green, as does the one on the right. Middle of the green here is fine. Long presents problems you do well to avoid. Fraserburgh's 13th, 341, inspired the designer of the Olympic course in Rio, where Justin Rose won his gold medal. The 9th hole there has similarities to this one. 2 bunkers are in play for the drive. I'm sure they've gotten deeper over the years as so many players have found them. I like the choices this course offers. It's another challenge you can take on, or lay up and play it as a 2-shotter. It's a wide green and one that slopes towards you, which invites a positive second shot. The next 5 holes are an exquisite collection. With 2 par 3s in the last 5 holes, the 14th covers just under 200 yards. It's called Homeward and worth taking in, like the 3rd, the wonderful views it affords. It's the start of the run for home. The prevailing wind is into off the left, but the main feature is the green, which is 3-tiered, and to snaffle a birdie here, the correct level must be found. However, a par 3 brings immense satisfaction wherever that pin might be. The Bents at 508 yards is superbly shaped, and a solitary bunker at 250 off the tee pinches into the edge of the fairway, making the target look quite frugal. If you're to go for this in two, it's important you have the left-hand side of your drive. The last 90 yards sees the fairway meander from left to right, and only a second shot of high quality will find the green. Should you lay up, be careful with the wedge, as anything pulled or long will leave you a devil's own job of getting up and down in two. The 16th, not long, at 378, the drive required here is one of accuracy rather than length. A missed fairway will leave you awkward stances, or perhaps an escape from one of these three bunkers that are in play. Your reward for a good drive will leave you with a straightforward second shot to a green that's 34 yards in length. 16 is all about the tee shot, the fairway finder, and more than likely that will produce handsome dividends. The last par 3 offering, like 14, is a shade under 200 yards. Like so many holes on this stunning coastline, good club selection is high on the wish list. Anything with too much on the tee shot will disappear over a tier that begins around 2/3 of the way into the putting surface. Should one miss right or left, you'll need all of your short game expertise to acquire a 3. Anything short in a bunker that's enjoyed much company down the years will sadly welcome you with open arms. The final examination is a strong par 4 of 435 yards. Having come back down onto the flat, there are still some questions to be answered. There's out of bounds all the way down the left-hand side for the entirety of the hole. Should you bail out a little, the right-hand side has a collection of bunkers. Should you find one of them, the path that crosses the fairway affects your recovery. It's a welcoming green, large in size, and one that's framed by a small bunker short right, with a deeper one awaiting on the left-hand side. One of the joys of this game are the memories you take away from your visit to a course you played for the first time, or indeed the 100th time. The birdie you had there, the hole that ruined an otherwise good card. The views, the vistas, the holes that suited your eyes, the ones that scared you. The company you enjoyed, and of course, the welcome you received. I hope your time at Fraserburgh Golf Club, the 5th oldest in Scotland and the 7th oldest worldwide, will stay with you for some time to come. My very best wishes and good golfing to you all.